Welcome back to Cork Stats, powered by the Mayo Media Net here on YouTube, presented by Jock Market, the brand new daily fantasy app where Wall Street meets Main Street and you can actually make money. How about that for a novel idea? Download that bad boy for free. Use the promo code MMN, Mayo Media Net. They're going to match the first $100 for free, and if it's free, it's for me, baby. Gotta love what we're doing here at Mayo Media Net all day, round the clock. Follow me up on Twitter at MLB Moving Averages. That's at MLB Moving AVG on the Bird app. Man, I'm just absolutely everywhere. People picking up what we're putting down. Me, you, the Cork Stats crew, everybody. Make sure, please, rate, review, and subscribe to the audio pod. Make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. You know, we are really putting ourselves out there trying to bring you quite legitimately everything you would pay for at one of the high-end premium sites, doing it all, led by me, the one-man band. You know, man, I live for this, man. 1:15 off the crack at about. There's be plenty of time to sleep another time. So let's get to it with the three pillars of profit. That's daily, DFS, and Jock Market. Then over to fantasy. Show's been very effective, doing something a little different every single day. And then over to our best bets. Man, speaking of bets, they have been really rough, and we're going to make an adjustment. I mentioned yesterday during yesterday's show about the little risk adjustment that we're going to make. You know, I know some of the breakdowns can die on the vine. I fully understand that. But I do suggest, if you're into betting theory, fast forward to the last, 45 seconds, 2 minutes of yesterday's show. Really some important stuff. I mean, this is really what it's all about. I'm trying to leave you every day with a feather in the cap. Again, no one cares about yesterday's breakdowns today, but those lessons, sometimes they really do stick with us. I've been getting clipped, and the change I'm going to make, again, we don't want to overreact. I'm not going to change my model yet because the totals are still low. What I am going to do is avoid the gauntlet that are the really good teams. When the year first started out, no one was really hitting, so you could kind of go up against anybody, and I make my bones as an underdog. That's what it is, right? And when you lose as an underdog, it's always like, oh, what did you think? The Orioles are going to win? No, but sometimes we cash in them tying through 5, and that's what it is. Yesterday was a perfect example. Merrill Kelly, in fact, if you're following along, man, we're just getting clipped. We've had multiple run leads and gotten killed by multiple runs multiple times. Yesterday, Merrill Kelly, another example. He'd been looking really good. I wasn't buying Tyler Anderson. Diamondbacks get up to an early 2-0 lead. Hey, what can you do? Que sera, sera. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Something special for everyone out there. We're going to do a little bit of the old-fashioned generosity, courtesy of Mr. Mayo and myself. Because we use these Fangraph tools all the time, we're going to give away a free premium subscription. It's $50. It's on me. Don't sweat it. I know that site is awesome. It can be a pain with all the ads, so you get the premium stuff and you don't have to worry about any ads. Don't worry, 1 full year, which will cover all of this year and your prep for next year's fantasy draft season. So this should definitely be worthwhile. Will absolutely be worth it for you. So just, you gotta, all the simple stuff. Check me out on Twitter. You can even do it here. Just leave a 5-star review for the pod. Leave an email or a Twitter handle just so we can get back to you, and we'll put you in and do a drawing or something like that. I have a random.org. I used to do raffles and stuff. So all right, let's get into the work today. Intro is a bit long, but sometimes that's what it is. And again, we're going to use the judo. I'm never going to quit because I had a couple bad days. Like Evaldi got blown up yesterday. I actually didn't get to post that. Boston, it ended up in the parlay pile, which exploded because, again, I chased the Oakland totals, which, again, goes to the extremes. Again, that's the change we're going to be making. You'll hear me talk about that on the show. We're going to look to get away from challenging the Yankees, the Astros, and the Dodgers, right? Challenging those offenses. And we're also going to stop looking for offense from the A's right now. Again, in the sine wave, I think I hung on to them a little bit too long. We knew they were overperforming. They kept paying the bills. Now they're really in the tank, where we could shift towards a team like Cincinnati, which we like, and actually got it done. If you had the half run on that F5, you got paid yesterday, moving the Overton window with us. So, we're doing just so much, everybody. I really love it. The feedback's been great. Don't be shy. Get at us. And if you can't play Jock Market, remember, these stack reports work for DraftKings, DFS, standard daily platforms, but also for total base props, right? All those Yankees were good yesterday. Even Donaldson was the one that I really liked. I didn't get the home run I wanted, but home runs, because they're hard to get right now, all the home run calls are really viable over 1.5 total base plays. And a lot of times you get them at plus money. So I really want to put those, in the portfolio as we're doing the same work. I'm always looking for ways to profit without adding extra work. And really that's what we're doing. That's kind of how my whole fantasy thing started. I'm like, wow, this really was working for betting. Anyway, all right, let's get up into the stack report. We got Tyler Mahle, who I like, but it's been a rough go. Nearly 6 ERA, 1.5 whip. He has struggled spotting to lefties. So we want to look at a couple lefties for the Guardians that have looked really good in Andres Jimenez and Palacios. Jimenez especially, we mentioned him on the waiver show. That's tomorrow, every Thursday. If you're following along, you have benefited. Hands down. We're doing a 10, 12, and 15 team ad at every single position. That's tomorrow. Today we'll be doing the advanced stat leaderboard on the pitcher side. Yesterday we did the hitter side. Gave you a couple guys to add. Names that were on that list last week are starting to look really, really good. You look really sharp if you've been adding, Drury and Cole Calhoun the past couple weeks like I have. So the fantasy side really looking good. Let's get back into the stack report. Same game. Cincinnati Reds against Quantrill. The surface stats look good, but I'm not really buying what he's selling. I see the 11% walk rate, the +5 Sierra, so that's the same game. We'll probably be looking for an over in that one. I'm looking at Tyler Stevenson, Moustakas, and Tyler Naquin. Also, remember, those are really our favorite players in particular because of the pricing in Jock Market. Really quick, why it matters. If you have not jumped on and downloaded the app and let them pay you for free, give this a shot. Just think about this. If you're sharp, think about why this matters. We highlight names. If you highlight them in DraftKings, everybody piles on. The price doesn't move. Now you need them just to block the leverage of the free square. That's really not the point of finding a value. It's really like this kind of self-defeating thing that's become very niche and specific to that game. Whereas in Jock Market, a guy like Tyler Naquin, if no one is into him, his price is low. So there's inherent leverage, and we're going to make money on it. So pretty much I've been advising people to avoid the higher end players. I generally talk about them in a high setting, 750, 550, 350 in dollars. You got to give or take a couple cents. Don't be too cheap. Remember, they'll limit orders. If you bait it over, you get the difference back. So don't be afraid to be generous. And remember, if it's only a nickel, I know it's percentage points, but don't lose out on Aaron Judge for a nickel, right? Overshoot him by 25 cents. Work that into your initial cost and then eat the difference back into your pocket. So it's really a good way of being sharp. Remember, think about that leverage. So we're looking at Stevenson, Moose, and Naquin, especially those back two. If you're getting those guys for $5 or less, they're going to have a real chance to return 2, 3, 400% returns. And that's how you do it. That can float the rest of your lineup if it's not very good. And, again, Jock Market greater than sign pretty much everywhere else right now. All right, let's look for the Miami lefties against Josiah Gray. I was pumping Gray coming into the season. The fastball problems that translated into home runs, that has not corrected yet. I think he's going to be excellent. It just really hasn't happened yet. Lefties in particular just feasting on him. 1,000 OPS, better than that actually on the season. 6 home runs year to date. Give me Jazz Chisholm and Jesus Sanchez, who we were chasing at the beginning of the year. We did well, and again, we hung onto the sine wave too long. And now he's hitting again. So don't let these players, he burned me. We burned ourselves, okay? I burned myself chasing after. When you have these guys that hit home runs in clusters, that strike out in clusters, generally they're going to give you a sign. You'll see discipline, get good contact, that kind of turn into a double or a home run once, and then they're going to rip for 7 to 10 days. Expect Jesus Sanchez to absolutely rip for the next couple of days. That's just how these things work. People hate it. It's not so much hot as it is health and timing. I really don't think of he's hot. I think of things in terms of probability and bands, baseball being, routine based, timing based. Again, man, it's not a hot thing. I don't like people, you quote last 7. It's not always last 7. For some players, it's last 31 and a half. That's the thing. You can't define the band, and that's my problem with hot. I'm not saying L7 or L10 or L30 matters. It's give me a really good player that's getting up off the mat, and I'm expecting him to reach the top of the sine wave. To me, it's very intuitive. It's really trading strategies that I've brought over to baseball that I have found worked, and I hope I'm helping to show them to you, right? And it's a different way of thinking than what's going on out there. And that's why That's why this show is just, it's cut from a different kind of cloth. All right, let's get back into the stacks. Yankees, lefties, got it. I feel like a chalk donkey. I've got white dust all over my face, but for the first time, at least it's chalk, right? All right, against Jordan Lyles, he has struggled against lefties, plus 900 OPS, 4 home runs. You're going to hear that a lot, right? We've seen pitchers struggle with the ball. Individual pitch break has been an issue. If you follow my work at The Athletic, we talk about targeted approach and how pitchers should use certain pitches against certain handed hitters, right? So that stuff matters. And if the pitch that you feature to lefties is not working with the ball and it ends up squared, then we're going to be looking for Rizzo and Gallo to go yard. Let's finish it up with those Buccos. I'm going in the Buccaneers for the rest. Black and yellow out in Pittsburgh. We didn't get it yesterday. I'm going back to it against Drew Smiley, plus 900 OPS, and all 5 of his home runs against righties. The sinker in particular, which features 28%, has a plus 900 X-Slug. Listen, I know X-Slugs are a little bit off this year, but not in relation to everything, and that's just about as high as I've seen anywhere. I look at every single pitcher and every single pitch pretty much every single day. God, that's not really a boast. It's almost like embarrassing, almost in a way, but, it really means a lot to me. Again, we're turning over every stone, and if this show doesn't end up on MLB Network, people singing the praises of the OG Cork Stats crew, it will not be for a lack of effort. All right, let's dive up into the fantasy report. So you got your stacks there. Hope it wasn't disjointed, right? Cleveland lefties, Cincinnati against Quantrill, Miami lefties, Yankee lefties, Pittsburgh righties, and you got the names. Follow me up on Twitter. Sorry, I forgot the Pittsburgh names. It's Brian Hayes, Michael Chavis, and Diego Castillo, not Rudolfo. I'm expecting Diego against the lefty, but we have to see again. Check the lineups, follow on Twitter. I'm doing my best I can to tweet and put out the free sheet on Patreon. You can check that out as well. Again, it is free for you and me, baby. All right, let's dive into the fantasy. And today we're doing mining the X-Stat Pitcher Leaderboard. And again, I don't want to just read stats to you. I know we have audio-only listeners. I'm going to get you the names, but we are evolving this. So I was bringing you at first the top 20 overall, and then when you realize that like 14 of the 20 names are all players that are already owned, it really is not that worthwhile, right? They're hard to acquire and you can't get them. We need stuff we could sink our teeth into. So that's what we're going to be doing instead. So this is not, if you see on the left side, starting pitcher, last 30 whiff percentage, right? So swing and miss, very important. On the right side, starting pitcher, L30 xWOBA. It's an amalgamation stat, right? So it's going to combine a little bit of everything. Contact and launch angle, which is always a nice thing to look at. Again, nothing should be overreacted to. However, these two stats are not the same, right? You want to be careful with someone who says, well, xWOBA and barrel, or barrel and blast, hard hit and xWOBA. These things are too similar to use in combination. Swing and miss and contact are two different things, right? Because swing and miss is one result, and contact is another total result. So we always want to be looking for that, guys that excel across statistical baskets. All right, here we go. Let's get it to you. These are all players. So the whiff is in the top 60. These are the top 20 in the top 60 that I thought really jumped off the page. They're not all going to be worth it, but let's see what we got. Garrett Whitlock, Eric Lauer, Jordan Montgomery, Luis Garcia, Yusei Kikuchi, Brubaker, Kyle Wright, Zach Thompson, Chris Archer, Tyler Anderson, Glenn Otto, Chad Kuhl, Hunter Green, Dylan Bundy, Steven Matz, Luis Severino, Justin Steele, Martin Perez, Daniel Lynch, and Zach Davies. Right off the bat, guys I am not interested is Brubaker. Guy I'm not interested in is Archer, Otto, Bundy, and Steele and Davies. All right, so those are guys I do not want to touch. A lot of guys that are probably already owned, like Whitlock and Lauer, Jordan Montgomery. I'm really loving how he looks. The wins are going to come. We were pumping him all offseason. He looks fantastic. Again, Kyle Wright. Zach Thompson. Now, this is probably one of the more interesting names, along with Chad Kuhl. Yes, he's in Colorado. Forget those starts. No one cares. Acquire Chad Kuhl. Pick him up. You're going to get 2 steps on the road or 1 steps against bad teams where you're going to want him. He's pretty good. Hunter Green also turned the corner. See if you can acquire him. I picked him up while no one was looking. Martin Perez in particular. And now let's get over to the other side and explain why. Look at this. Last 30, right? xWOBA. We always want to be time sorting just to look for an edge. Everyone has season year to date. Savant does not allow for time sorting, so that we have the ability to time sort these things, really can separate us from the pack. Starting pitcher, last 30, xWOBA. Alex Cobb, Zach Gallen, Tariq Skubal, Dylan Cease, Nestor Cortez, Martin Perez, Miles Mikolas, Gonsolin, Joe Ryan, Zach Eflin, Dalton Jeffries, Eric Lauer, Luis Severino, Blackburn, Chad Kuhl, Erod, Reed Detmers, Mad Bum, Dane Dunning, and Jameson Taillon. Really not too many names on this list I wouldn't be messing with. Dalton Jeffries has the issues with the Oakland surrounding contact. Same for Erod, though they might turn it around. Same for Mad Bum. Bumgarner probably the one guy I really wouldn't touch with a 10-foot pole. The name you really got to circle here is Martin Perez. He's on both of these lists. He's a 24.5 whiff rate and a 260 xWOBA. Now, granted, a 260 xWOBA does not carry the same weight that it used to, but again, relation to the field. Do not let anyone tell you that these stats don't matter. The original application may not matter. That has nothing to do with what we are talking about. That has nothing, completely different things altogether. Again, these lists probably validating Eric Lauer. I don't know if he could kind of buy high in him, right? He just got beat up. Throw it out there. He just might be there. Luis Severino, I know people were sick of. I grabbed him. I use him as a spark. Couple of interesting names. Reed Detmers, how tip to James Anderson, pumping him all off season. Dane Dunning, I think, is interesting. Miles Mikolas, that's a bat flip crazy guy. I know a lot of people were on him. He really wasn't interesting enough for me. Didn't think the strikeouts were there, but he gets the distance, and those kind of things can float your team. A guy I do have, Nestor Cortez, that I do believe in. Again, I don't think you're going to be able to pry him away. I just don't think there's really a price matrix, right, that you can get him. So there's a couple of names. I know not as many as usual that we've walked away being like, oh, get this guy, but I think we have our validation on Chad Kuhl, where you can pick him up or add him on a low point, buying low. So I think that's one. And Martin Perez, even if it's considered buying high, right? No one is going to be asking for a first-round pick for Martin Perez. People are probably thrilled that they got anything. So if you think you have a fill-in bat and you could trade a bat for an arm, I think I would definitely do that. All right, let's dive up into the betting. And I'm gonna be doing my expressions through emoji right now. I'm gonna dive up into the 21st century for the audio only listeners. The emojis that were cash bags then were crossed fingers are now skulls. So I think that pretty much says it all. Let's get it again. Management of risk, not getting beat up over outcomes. I've already decelerated my daily risk. And yes, I hate losing. And yes, we've had multiple run leads. And yes, I have made the change of avoiding the best team. So we are going to do that going forward. And, we'll see how it goes from there. I think our best bets are going to be playing the middle, right where we get the algo scores, beneficial algo scores, and beneficial breakdowns and pricings close to the middle, right? Playing, again, avoiding the outliers. You're not going to catch me paying the 240 juice. And this year with the ball, covering run lines has been very tough. I was on with Stormy yesterday on VSiN, and I advised her to not take the Yankee run line. You got to be very careful with these run lines. Covering is not as easy as it looks. And then sometimes, yes, you have the blow up. It's very tough to pay for it. It really is. It's very tough to pay for it. I know they're trying to entice us with the pricing, but that's why. All right, so right off the bat, well, not only do I have a run line, but I also have a typo. Sorry, people, I really can't go back and redo this, but it's Miami full game run line. That's correct. I have minus half run. That is incorrect. The pricing at plus 120 is correct. I would love the half run F5, but the pricings has been ridiculous. I think it's minus 170. So that's why people like myself and other sharp people are moving to the full game run line, because we're talking about $100 to take it, but why is the book offering you $100 to get involved in a 9-inning game? And because it's not in your advantage, that's why. It's a greedy bet. And with the ghost runner in extra innings, the run line is always in jeopardy. So for myself, that's been really the main reason I haven't really liked it. All right, let's get up into it really quick. So sorry about the typo, but the play is correct. So give us Miami today. Pablo Lopez has just been absolutely ridiculous, like just as good as it gets, popping off the page. I think he gets it done again. We mentioned Josiah Gray and the home run troubles. He's just not inducing chasing. So when you have a 26% chase rate, people are not buying what you're selling. You end up having to come into the zone, and when your fastball is not very good, it ends up an issue, right? So when you're combining 11.5% walk rates with 15% barrel rates, you're going to get 2 home runs per night. So give me Miami. If Washington can get to Lopez, again, even if they get 2 or 3, I think we'd get to the 5 or 6 today. And that's, I think, you have to cap it. I don't think you could look anymore for like 10, these 10-run explosions. Miami did score yesterday, so maybe we could lower expectations. I'm hoping like 5-2, maybe like even like a 5-3 in a squeaker. Give me that. Next up, we got Cincinnati and Cleveland, Molly and Quantrill, the ERAs, the Sierras, the walk rates, the hit rates, everything really off the page, plus the Cincinnati bullpen, not very good. Cleveland bullpen, I believe they're good on paper. Lately, they have really struggled. 5.5 ERA, almost a 2 home run per 9, 15% barrel rate last 15 innings, that is, for Cleveland. So I always like that. I think even if we don't like decimate the starters, where again, if we have one implosion, you're going to get up to 4 or 5 runs through 5. And if the other team gets it, that's part of the calculus of why I think these 7.5s are really entirely too low. Especially for teams that are not, again, the public is off on these teams. And again, that's where the edge is. And I think, again, that was maybe the bit of the sine wave that I missed. I probably hung in at 8 a day or 2 more of losses than I needed to, trying to go up against the Dodgers, trying to go up against Houston, where you could look for offense. It's not Oakland, but it is Cincinnati, right? Where Cincinnati's been getting these half-run F5s looking really good. So that's one way. Give me also, we're going to go with Philadelphia, Zach Wheeler. He looks back. He looks awesome against Blake Snell. First time off the IL. I generally go right after these guys. He's never been a distance guy in the first place. So I think a best case scenario is 5 innings. So I think a worst case scenario is we touch him up early, where they pull him after 2 1/3 because he walked a couple guys. So I don't think the San Diego bullpen will be able to hang with Zach Wheeler. Philly offense is really good. So give me that at minus 145. I would not play that standalone 145. The other plays are viable. So if you're going to take a 145, make sure you're packing. I just can't pay the kind of juice. I know some people do. I can't get MLB game full models to where I say, okay, go for it. Like, to me, I don't know. It's too much experience of, I'd rather just keep my money in my pocket and play an underdog the next time around. All right, that's just me. So pack them together. Miami full game run line with the spread plus 120. Cincinnati and Cleveland over 7.5 minus 110, and Philly on the money line minus 145. Pack them together for plus 600 if we hit it. Then this is a positive venture for the week, which is the reason why we do all this stuff. Although, it's a little bit of fun. And I find it fascinating to understand more about the game than most. And it's not to be arrogant. It's just, this is what we do. We're always pulling the strings and looking beyond and even just reading the Savant page. Savant, to me, is a language. And if you're kind of just looking, to me, it's almost like a picture book. Like, that's a hieroglyphs, right? Like, I got, oh man, a good feather for the cap today. So Savant is hieroglyphs. And if you're just looking at it, those are pictures, and there is a language being spoken that I think really takes a nuanced hand. And it comes down to splitting pitches and understanding fastball movement and, these progressions. And again, where I think maybe contact is more of a function of control than we've maybe thought in the past. So, all right, there's some stuff to chew on, everybody. We're up against it. Let's get out of here. Hope you enjoyed it. We got stacked tonight. Cleveland lefties, Reds against Quantrill, Miami lefties, Yankees lefties, and Pittsburgh righties. We got some fantasy names, some viable guys to tack on, right? We're looking at Chad Kuhl. He should be good to go. We might be looking to add Martin Perez on the pitching side. He's been looking pretty good. I've also been on like a Silseth, some younger guys that we think might be good. Tucker Davison also on the Braves, a name to circle. It's just that time of year. Young guys have been up and gotten beat up. Maybe this next time around, post hype sleeper, we get it done. And a couple of bets today. So hopefully we get this one across the finish line. And that's really all it takes. You get one real good day going. It doesn't need to be a miracle. We've got a couple guys across the Jock market. We land the daily parlay, and all of a sudden you're going to be in the rear from here going, oh man, remember when we lost those couple days? Whatever. So that is what it is. Download the Jock Market app. Get the free $100 using the code MMN. Rate, review, and subscribe. Get up in the comments. Let me know how I'm doing. And don't forget, 5-star review. Leave your name, handle, email address, just a way to contact you. We're giving away a Fangraphs premium subscription on the big dude. So that's from me to you. I want you to enjoy it. Enjoy the research. You'll be digging a little bit more. Hey, man. And if people enjoy it and there's a good response, I'll keep doing them. I live for this stuff. The money means less to me every single day that I get older, and it's happening faster than I want to admit. So I'm out of here, yo. And remember, it feels a lot less like luck when you work this hard, and the big dude will catch you on the flip side, yo. Peace.